Hi, everybody. Dan Illman, Mike Beer. The feature race at Aqueduct on Saturday is the Save Florida Sandy Stakes. Let's throw up the field of these New York bred sprinters. We're going 7/8 of a mile. It's carded as race number 8. 6 entered. It's the rematch between the number 4, Lobster, the number 5, My Boy Tate. Lobster got the lion's share of the pot last time out in the New York Stallion Series.
Yeah, a very game win for Lobster last time as a very big price in that race too. Danny, he was returning from a layoff there. He fought bravely on the lead and managed to come back to win. I mean, I don't know. Obviously, you're gonna have to take a much shorter price on him this time. But if he runs another 95 like he did in that Thunder Rumble division, he's gonna be tough right back.
Then you could argue that as a lightly raced 4-year-old, he has more upside than the veteran My Boy Tate. Now, he might have taken advantage of a moderate pace to win the New York Stallion Series. Timeform US's pace projector for the Save Florida Sandy indicates that this race might favor horses on or near the early lead. We see the 4 Lobster close to the pace, along with the Maryland shipper, the 1 Alpha Cairo, who I think has to go from the rail.
Yeah, I think the one really doesn't have any choice here, Dan. That horse has to go. I mean, Lobster's going to show speed in this race for sure, and he'll be forward in here. We'll see how fast they wind up going. I do feel like the one, just because there's not a ton of pace in here, and he just comes into here in really good form right now. I think he's a dangerous horse.
The 1 Alpha Cairo has hit the board in his last 7 races, but his most recent start, first off the Rudy Sanchez Salomon claim, was much improved from a buyer's standpoint. Let's watch that race now. He jumped up to an 88, winning this 5.5 furlong race. Now, his task, Mike, was made a little bit easier when the favorite and the expected speed, Ziggy Mons, stumbled at the start, but he got up close to the pace and he sprinted on home. He dusted the horse he battled with early.
Yeah, this was just a nice step in the right direction for this horse. Obviously, he's in good form anyway, Dan. He's won 5 of his last 7. This was just a really easy win for him. Yes, with a relatively soft trip. I actually felt like he ran really well 2 starts back, Dan, when this owner-trainer claimed him. He only won it by a neck. I thought he won that race a little bit easier than that margin suggests, though. He was just always very confidently ridden that day. I don't know. This horse is in good form, and he has speed. I think he's dangerous.
Do you think this distance is a bit sharp for the 2 Chestertown? All of his wins have come in routes. His big victory came in the 2020 Albany, going 1.125 miles, but this will be his 3rd start off of a short summer vacation. He's just had the misfortune to take on some runaways in his 2 starts this form cycle, arguably tougher fields than the one he's facing here.
Yeah, I actually don't mind the distance for him. I'm just more worried that the race may not set up great for him because he is a horse who just, doesn't have that much early speed. I don't mind 7 furlongs for him at all. And I think he's an interesting horse in here. I almost put him on top. I feel like he is going to run well. I actually thought, he was never a real threat last time behind Happy Medium, who feels like, Happy Medium feels like he's stakes bound after a couple of really fast wins. I think this horse actually ran deceptively well last time, and I want to use him in here. I almost put him on top. I wasn't quite sure the race was going to set up for him.
Battle Station at 8-1 seems like a very fair price because in some ways he's kind of the key to the race from a pace and class standpoint. He has the back class to win this race. I know a lot of folks believe that Battle Station is best on turf, and he might be, but he's pretty good on dirt as well, and he hasn't run against New York breds since he won the Rego Park back in 2018. So he fits with these horses. Wide trip last time out against open stakes foes at Parks.
Yeah, he's a really cool horse. It was interesting to see them come back to dirt too, and it's not like they got rained off there in that race at Laurel too back then. They entered him for dirt, and he stepped up and got the job done that day. I'm with you. I don't think he ran as poorly as it looks last time. He had a really wide trip in that race.
Let's watch Lobster and My Boy Tate in the New York Stallion Series. Lobster off a 5.5-month layoff has been collared. My Boy Tate to the inside of the circled horse. Lobster has made the lead, but Lobster, get ready for it, Mike. Lobster claws his way back into it.
Yeah, I knew you were going to come up with something for this horse. Actually, you've only used 2 or 3 of the puns so far, so I'm actually pretty proud of you. I don't know what to say about this race, Dan. I mean, talk to me about what you thought of My Boy Tate here. A great trip and ride he got in this race from Manny Franco. Isn't that just sort of a bad loss for My Boy Tate? He gets the inside run. He takes over. He can't put the race away. I still think he ran well. Obviously, Lobster took a step forward. If it just comes down to a contest of who you're going to take between the 2 of them, and I hear what you're saying, as you mentioned earlier, that Lobster has all the upside, I still think I'm going to take My Boy Tate.
My boy Tate is tactical, certainly. If this racetrack comes up wet, as it could certainly be, we're expecting some wet weather over the next couple of days in New York. We know he loves a wet track. I don't know. I watched his last race. And I wanted to make an excuse. Okay, it wasn't a fast pace. He was a little bit behind while Lobster was up close, but the old my boy Tate, when he took the lead,
Yeah.
I think he would have beaten Lobster, especially off of the layoff, especially the price Lobster was in that race. It'll come down to price. These two horses are going to be the favorites. If Lobster is all of a sudden heavily favored over my boy Tate, I'm with you. I'd go with my boy Tate as well. Saratoga Powell, well, is hoping for a fast pace because look what happened last time he got a fast pace. He came from left field. Let's watch Saratoga Powell at Aqueduct on December the 3rd. And there's no way he can win this race from here. He's 6 lengths out of it, and he's got everybody in front of him. But the good news is they were really hitting up front. A couple of horses are stymied in behind. He has the outside run with clear air, and he's going to take advantage of maybe a little bit of a pace collapse. It doesn't look like that situation is available to him here.
Yeah, it feels like a different situation. I actually like this horse. I think he's pretty good. Last time was kind of the time to have him, though, Dan, because his race 2 back, he had no setup at all, and actually ran really well to only be beaten a couple of lengths. Last time he got the setup and he took advantage.
Let's take a look at our top picks for the Say Florida Sandy Stakes. My boy Tate for Mike. The horse is tactical enough to play the break and let the speed sort of play themselves out. I think he sits fourth with a clear run turning into the stretch, and his best race is probably better than what the other's best race on dirt is, at least.
It feels that way. I mean, I took him. I didn't want to take him, Dan. I wanted to sort of, find the alternative, and I just couldn't really talk myself into anybody else. Again, I almost put Chestertown on top. I just don't know if it's going to set up quite well enough for him in the front. And we'll see how it all plays out. I kind of wanted 5 and 2. I think your horse is interesting. I don't have your horse in there, but I do think he's a dangerous player in here.
He's handled 7 before, not against this class of
Yeah.
horse. So he's stretching out from 5.5. I think that's not going to be a problem. The distance. It's all whether he classes up. This barn has been going very good in the Mid-Atlantic over the last couple of months. We'll see if Alpha Cairo can maybe get a little bit loose on the lead, or at least relaxed on an easy pace. My boy Tate, Lobster, to me are the horses to beat. Just didn't love the New York Stallion series as a whole. I thought my boy Tate should have sealed the deal. 5, 2, 4, 3 for Mike. 1, 4, 5, 6 for me. It's the Save Florida Sandy at the Big A on Saturday. Good luck.